for Stoneblade earlier in this round, and we did see a Storm deck earlier in this round, just a minute ago. Benjamin Ball there on Ad Nauseam Tendrils, and Bernie Wen, we saw him earlier today on Esper Stoneblade. Bernie Wen is like Shaheen is Bernie's like champion, or something. He's very excited to see Bernie playing these decks. It's basically everything that Shaheen plays. He played like Shaheen 75 in Standard, and I think very similar to Shaheen 75 in Legacy. I'm more partial to Jack Fogel, who played the cool Esper deck that I like in Standard, and is playing Miracles in Legacy, and I'd like to see him doing well. I don't know if he's I don't know how he's doing in this tournament. I think
he's been eliminated at this point.
I haven't seen his name anywhere, so.
Bernie is a pretty good player. I've seen him appearing, near the top 8 at a number of opens. I'm pretty sure he's cracked that barrier as well. And I would cite him as a deliberate player watching him play. I know I've actually seen him go to time a few times, or like wind up with some draws he didn't really want. But at the same time, careful. Likes to make sure he's hitting the right play, making the right notes. And Esper Stoneblade, that's the kind of deck for those kind of players, I think.
Yeah.
Not really surprised to see him sleeving it up here.
Looks like we're headed to game 3 here. These guys have about 18 minutes left. Still sideboarding, it appears. We're counting sideboards.
Yeah, I think he was just confirming.
Yeah.
Make sure he got it right. Bernie's sideboard's pretty interesting. He probably won't use them in this matchup, but he actually has access to 3 Restoration Angel in his sideboard, which is a nice card alongside Stoneforge Mystic, Snapcaster Mage, and Vendilion Click. But beyond that, as far as this matchup goes, he's got Cabal Therapy, 2 Surgical Extractions, maybe a Relic, maybe a Nihil Spellbomb. They're not the best, but they're probably better than some other cards in the deck. And Spell Pierce. And that looks to be about all he's going to be bringing in.
Yeah, on Benjamin's side, very similar to what we saw earlier, the Wish board. He's just got 3 copies of Burning Wish, but still quite a Wish board here. Other than that, he's got 3 Dark Confidants, 2 Inquisitions of Kozilek, and 2 Chain of Vapor. And I imagine he possibly wants the Inquisitions to, kind of make sure the coast is clear against the deck that's packing counter spells. Other than that, I don't think he necessarily needs anything else that he's that he can't just wish for.
Yep, this is game 3, so Benjamin may have gotten a look at whatever hate Bernie has to offer at this point, and that could also affect his sideboarding strategies. Like maybe he, doesn't, maybe he brings in some of the discard spells over others. Maybe he decides he wants access to something like Chain of Vapor. I don't really think he would, but it's kind of hard to predict what people are going to go for. Maybe he lost a Sword of Feast and Famine in game 2. Yeah. You never know.
So he wants his Naturalized. Oh, wait. We'll go with Shattering Spree. We'll go with that. So it looks like a mulligan from Benjamin. And yeah, it's another tough thing about these combo decks. You need the right pieces, and sometimes that just necessitates. I think these combo decks kind of tend to mulligan more often than more straightforward decks that.
I think that combo decks, you might say that they tend to take more mulligans, but I think that fair decks should actually be taking more mulligans.
Oh, that's a fair point.
The converse there, I think people keep pretty loose.
We've seen that this weekend quite a bit with some interesting keeps, but kind of would like to ask the players what they're thinking, on the sideline reporter, thing. Just, hey, so what was the deal there when you kept no lands?
I admit to being, a little aggressive on mulligans. I like to mulligan more often than not, because whenever I think, like, man, I should have mulliganed that, I greatly dislike that sensation.
Yeah. Turn 1 Polluted Delta from Benjamin Ball. So I guess that means Benjamin won game 1, Bernie took game 2. Benjamin now on the play game 3.
It's bad news for Bernie dropping a sideboard game, although good news for him that he took a game 1 . So
no, I think Bernie took the sideboard
you think
game.
Bernie?
Did I say
I'm
it
sorry.
the wrong way? But I think Benjamin won game 1.
I may have misheard.
Yeah. So Bernie won the sideboard game. Yeah, at least that's what it appears like, unless he chose to draw.
Then. I think that would be a little too bold.
Yeah. You just saw Adam Prosak ad nauseum, giving us a show. So Duress from Benjamin Ball to clear the coast. You see the
he brought in Restoration Angel. Yeah. I think I like that reasonably well if you're going to lean on your permission in the matchup. as it's a flash threat. You don't have to tap out to deploy it, and it can close out the game and limit the strength of an opponent's ad nauseum pretty quickly.
The duress hits a Spell Pierce, and you see Batterskull, Restoration Angel, and 4 lands from Bernie.
Yep. Bernie is now what we like to call open for business.
Yeah.
Drew a Brainstorm, all right.
So
we might be closing the doors.
Yeah, at least has the potential to close the door. Plays an island, passes back to Benjamin. Benjamin, what are you going to do on turn 2? He's going to play a second Polluted Delta. He's going to crack that immediately. Goes to 18.
Likely searching up an island after having seen Wasteland.
Yes, there was 1 Wasteland in Bernie's hand. No need to open yourself up to that. And he does indeed go for an island. John Avon island there. Full art, unhinged, right?
Yeah,
I always get unhinged.
If you'd like a wonderful lithograph.
That's what I was going to mention. These lithographs are available on Star City. I think they're just, good choice of whoever made the decision, like, we're going to offer lithographs, what should we offer? That was a very good choice. I don't know who that was. It wasn't me. I'm not like...
I won't say it was me.
Okay. Dark Confidant on turn 2 from Benjamin Ball.
It definitely wasn't me.
Okay.
Just for the record.
I'll also say it definitely wasn't me. I'm not in on those kind of discussions on Star City. So.
Yeah, Dark Confidant, a nice sideboard card for Benjamin in the matchup. Bernie obviously can't just be keeping in things like Swords to Plowshares against the Storm deck, so that gives Benjamin the room to capitalize on bringing in Dark Confidant. It means he's going to shoot for a slightly later kill turn. He's not going to be trying to, turn 2, turn 3, maybe more turn 4, turn 5.
Right.
When you bring in a card like this, but what you trade in power level, you get in resiliency.
Right. Yeah, I was thinking about that, but I didn't really, know if that was a way he would go. But it makes sense. You need to capitalize on the way your opponent is sideboarding, or is likely to sideboard.
One of the things about sideboarded games is, generally speaking, they often go longer than game 1s because each player has, situated their deck better. They can fight the fight a lot more effectively, and that means more turns added to the game when you're both trying to keep the other one from killing you and doing so successfully.
Absolutely.
So cards that are powerful over a long game tend to make great sideboard cards. Cards that are high impact are also great sideboard cards for that reason. It's why we see stuff like Blood Moon. That card kind of takes over games, and it's a popular sideboard option for that reason.
So Bernie finds a Tundra, and he has a Stoneforge Mystic.
He's going to go ahead and be searching up. Sort of Feast and Famine. That'll create a clock on Benjamin, and it's one of the ways he can try and punish Benjamin for being willing to play a longer game by playing a threat that lets Bernie effectively take extra turns.
Yeah. Burning Wish off the top from the Dark Confidant, so that'll sting Benjamin just a little. Oh, we'll say it shocks him, although he might not be surprised. Some shuffling here after Bernie's tutor heavy turn 2.
Fearless attack.
Yeah, Dark Confidant gonna come over and threaten the Stoneforge Mystic, or threaten to battle with the Stoneforge Mystic.
I would be willing to seriously debate a block here. We're not going to get that Feast and Famine online for 2 more turns, and you can also just go, cast Feast and Famine, cast Restoration Angel, untap and attack on turn 5. You're attacking a turn later, but you're also depriving your opponent of the cards from Dark Confidant, so it's definitely a decision, and you saw Bernie think about it.
Yeah, he did end up taking the 2.
Yep.
And untaps, draws for his turn.
I think he has a Brainstorm here, and if he has a fetch land, he will likely fire it before passing turn to go ahead and get his hand a little better situated.
There is a fetch land.
He's going to pass. He can Brainstorm during the end step as well. I suppose if I were doing it, I would probably upkeep it, but it kind of depends on what the rest of his hand is, and specifically his sideboard composition could have changed some things as well.
So Benjamin gets a free Polluted Delta off of Dark Confidant there. Pain-free, that is. And he's taking a moment to take a look at his sideboard, I believe.
Well, now he's just gonna be telling Bernie he has a Burning Wish in his hand,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
man,
If Bernie didn't
telegraphing
somehow,
it so easily. It's almost like it was seen in
Yeah.
the hand a turn prior.
almost. All right, some decisions being made here, I guess. I don't know. I would like to take a peek at his what he's looking at, because we'd like to see kind of how he boarded. I guess we can kind of take a look at his board, since it is mostly Burning Wish targets anyway. What is it he's worried about? Is he considering a shattering spree, just worried about the Sword of Feast and Famine? Is that what he's looking to answer?
It kind of depends. I don't think so. I think he's more interested in trying to set up a kill. He saw that Bernie's hand was counter light. He knows that Bernie is struggling to put something together, and Bernie has still concealed the fact that he has a Brainstorm. So, as far as Benjamin's concerned, you know, Bernie is still very vulnerable, and he might just be able to kill him.
Well, he passes back at the end of turn. Bernie
Oh,
vials
he still
in
has
a
his
Batter
Batter Skull. Yep. I'd actually thought that he might be brainstorming that away previously, but the Batter Skull is going to now enable him to get in a sword hit this turn. He will, however, have to blow his fetch land, I should say, to do it, which is one reason I might have considered the Brainstorm on the end step, just to get value out of that Flooded Strand before we cracked it.
Yeah, I like your logic there, but Bernie's gonna hold that Brainstorm for later, I suppose. Cracks his fetch land, finds his 4th mana source, and likely going to vial in and equip a sword here. Connect for 6, untap his lands, and what else does he have to do in his hand? Could he play like a Gideon or something?
Well, he has the Restoration Angel still.
He's also got Chase the Mind Sculptor.
And he has access to that Brainstorm, which, as we've said, can, you know, dig him into some disruption. And I think he's mostly going to try and just sit back and use this Batter Skull to, you know, club Benjamin to death in short order.
Yeah, so he untaps his lands here. Benjamin discards. We don't see what he discarded. Oh, here it is.
It's going here.
It's a Past in Flames. That's fine discard for Benjamin.
Yep.
But Benjamin now at 10, facing down, well, 7 power worth of guys right now.
Yeah, if Bernie had held open 4 mana for the Restoration Angel, he could theoretically threaten lethal in conjunction with Stoneforge Mystic, but obviously Benjamin not likely to attack his Dark Confidant into Batter Skull, so a blocker would definitely exist on the previous turn anyway. So he's just going to use this Brainstorm, try and find some help. But I can't help but think we probably just should have fired it on Benjamin's end step, because now that would be our second Brainstorm. We'd have basically seen an additional, you know, 5 to 6 cards depending on how we chose to stack our draws.
Dark Confidant continues to be kind to Benjamin, where he gets a Lotus Petal for free off the top. And this is Game 3, Round 8 of 9 of StarCityGames.com Legacy Open in Indianapolis. Benjamin Ball trying to figure out how to both defend himself against Bernie Wen's Batter Skull. Well, really it's just a germ holding a Batter Skull and a Sword of Feast and Famine, and simultaneously execute his own combo. So it looks like he's going to do something here. He's got a Dark Ritual, and that appears to have resolved. And you see that's the Storm count, and that's the mana count. So 3 black mana in his pool. He's going to crack Polluted Delta there.
Imagine he'll be getting a Badlands or Volcanic Island. Volcanic
Island, yep. And presents. There's Storm count goes up to 2 after the Lotus Petal there. He immediately cracks that, so he should have 4 mana here.
One of which is
one
red.
Is red, yep. There's Storm count 3, and I believe that's still on the stack there, that Cabal Ritual.
It'll be adding 5 black mana if it resolves, which will put Benjamin up to 7 mana total, which is, you know, definitely starting to threaten lethal spells. Burning Wish for Tendrils only costs 6 mana, of course. I actually don't think Bernie has anything here. He's
I didn't-
possibly just trying to, convince Benjamin to be a little more careful, to perhaps go for a less all-in maneuver, maybe let Bernie escape on, 2 life or something bizarre like that. Yeah.
He does have a brainstorm.
He has a surgical extraction, I think.
Yep, he does.
He does.
He does.
Okay,
That is
so
something. So
he's debating firing surgical extraction right now, trying to get rid of threshold. It's a pretty nice play, mostly because Benjamin, in order to retain threshold, would have to get rid of that extra red mana he has anyway. So that's one way you can just dodge making that relevant. Looks like Bernie's going to go for the Past in Flames, which is, savvy call.
plays another ritual
Yep.
just to in response to the surgical extraction.
Has to tap his land to save that red mana, but since he's losing his Past in Flames anyway, it's going to be troublesome for him.
Yeah. Okay. So ritual number 1 appears to have resolved.
Yeah,
And
Burning
now the
Wish and
surgical
something
extraction
else.
is resolving, so Past in Flames is removed, and Bernie gets to take a peek at Benjamin's library to find any more copies of Past in Flames. There is only 1 in the 75, and I'm sorry, 1 in the 60, and then 1 other in the sideboard. Currently,
Cabal plus Wish. Apparently, a 3rd Cabal Ritual is his other card in hand, which means he's going to be just going for the Tendrils kill, I think, this turn, right? Unless our Storm is too low. I can't tell where we are on it. I think we're on 5, unless that count is off.
So Storm count should be.
I feel like we might have missed one.
He went Ritual, Lotus Petal, and now Ritual. This is just Benjamin's side. Surgical extraction. So there's, I think.
Well,
Yeah,
9.
I'm confused.
Right? No, we're going 7 here.
Yeah, it looks like 7.
We need 11 spells to kill with a Tendrils.
Yeah, he's
So
getting up
what are
there.
we grabbing? He's got a lot of spare black mana, so we can go for one of his other card drawing effects here.
Yeah, he went Dark Ritual,
Unless he's
Lotus
sideboarding
Petal,
in.
Ritual, and then there was Surgical Extraction. Then he went Other Ritual, and then 3rd Ritual, and now he's Burning Wishing, right?
Yeah.
So it's 7. I'm getting,
Okay, it's correct.
7. Burning Wishing sounds it's a very weird thing to say.
Storm count of 7.
Adam Prosak doesn't know how to play this deck.
Grim Tutor.
Hanging out here
It's going
behind
to take
the
us to 8, but it's also going to cost us 3 life.
Yeah.
Puts us to 6.
And the Storm count should be up to 8
Yep.
here. He needs 3 more spells.
He was really leaning, as it turns out, on that on the Past in Flames to actually get him enough spells to Burning Wish for the kill. This is the grimmest of tutors. I found
Yeah.
a fine deal on Grim Tutor from Star City Games myself.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Infernal Tutor, he's chaining these rituals together to get
Yeah,
up
that
to a
should
high enough spell count.
Be up to 10 now, right?
I think that's
It's
9.
9. I'm sorry, it's
Yeah.
9. Yeah. Yeah, the tutor was 8. The first tutor was 8. The second tutor was 9.
And he's going to chain
Go
another
with
tutor.
another tutor just to get the storm count up. Now
Leaves
he's
him
up to
with
10.
Exactly 4 mana. So if this tutor finds the tendrils, that should be it. And Bernie pounces.
Yeah, says, hold up. I'm going to brainstorm. Yeah, storm count goes up. Yeah, I get it. Does not
Airball,
find
nothing.
an answer. Still got to put cards back even though he didn't find anything.
Yep.
And I think Benjamin Ball may have this.
Yeah, he had enough mana to chain together those Infernal Tutors, or Grim Tutor into Infernal Tutors, and scrounge up the win with a pretty much bare minimum storm.
Absolutely, and he had to go for it there too, because otherwise I think he was just either dead next turn or very close to it.
He should have had another turn. Like, he probably could have made it out of there with one more turn, but he would have been at much lower life. He wouldn't be able to cast spells like Grim Tutor ad nauseum at all. And also, Bernie, could theoretically have had another piece of equipment to perhaps present a lethal clock.
Yeah, so Bernie Wen falls 2-1 to Benjamin Ball and ad nauseum tendrils here in the penultimate Swiss round of the StarCityGames.com Legacy Open, live from Indianapolis. I'm Joey Pasco, joined in the booth by Glenn Jones, and off to the side is Adam Prosak. Sneaking away! He's sneaking away.
Watching on.
Yeah, he wanted to watch the Storm deck too. So, I mean, who doesn't want to watch Storm?
Can't get